Okay, yeah. Do you hear me now? No? Hello? Hello? I have to hold it here? Okay. I'm going to talk about experiences from establishing a national center for information security in Norway. The society depends more and more on information and communication technology. This leads to greater vulnerability in information systems, both to intended and unintended incidents. In the recent years in Norway, we have seen a couple of such unintended incidents that resulted in loss of availability. The first one was the largest telephone company in Norway had this incident where their main cable was cut off during some construction work. That resulted in unavailability for the people in the southern part of Norway. They didn't have telephone connection for more than 5 hours. And not only the regular phone, but also cell phones and the emergency numbers were unavailable. Another incident was the company EDB Teamco, who provides internet banking services for all the banks in Norway. They had this one human mistake where one cable was wrong connected and all the online banking services were unavailable. It took a whole week until normal operation was restored. And these two incidents, among others, led to increased focus on information security in Norway. We have realized how vulnerable the society is, and the government decided to do something about this. So they started this vulnerability committee, who was supposed to find out in which ways the society was vulnerable and how could we do something about that. In 2000, they published a report recommending a strategy for reducing the vulnerability within Norwegian ICT systems. And after this report was published, the government continued to work on this national strategy, and they will be publishing this this year. SIS, the establishment of SIS, the Center for Information Security, is a part of this national strategy. And it was commissioned by the Norwegian Ministry of Trade and Industry. It started April 1st last year, and the preliminary duration is until the end of next year. And in this trial period, we have 100% financial funding from the government. And we don't really know what will happen to SIS after the year of 2004. We don't know which form it will have. But as of today, we are hosted by SINTEF in collaboration with Uninet in Trondheim. SINTEF is the foundation for industrial and technological research, and we have almost 2,000 employees. Uninet is the Norwegian network for research and education, and they run the only CERT team in Norway. They don't have these CERT activities for the whole nation, all companies in the nation. They only run it for the companies who are in this network that they provide, which are the research and education institutions. This collaboration is such that most of the staff at SIS are hired in SINTEF, but one person is hired at Uninet and he works at SIS. And our premises are located at SINTEF. Why was SIS put at SINTEF in the first place? There were several alternatives. One was the governmental departments. Should SIS be a public responsibility? Another alternative was the Norwegian defense. We have this Norwegian National Security Authority, who are concerned with critical national infrastructure, so it might be natural that they also hosted SIS. But this third alternative was private organization, like for instance SINTEF. And SINTEF is a large independent research institution. We have lots of experience within the areas of safety and security. We have done projects within the offshore sector, with offshore safety and also railway safety. And we are involved in work in the healthcare sector, where both safety and security are important aspects. We're also located close to the Norwegian University of Science and Technology and Uninet. And one of the reasons for choosing SINTEF to be the host of SIS is that we are independent. We don't have this direct connection to the government or to the police. So if people report about incidents to us, we don't go directly to the police and tell them about it. We keep the information for ourselves. So if a company have had an electronic break-in, they would have to go to the police themselves to get it investigated. We can't do that for them. Our main objectives, the main goals of SIS, is first of all to survey the threats towards ICT systems in the Norwegian society. We will also spread knowledge and expertise about threats and their countermeasures. And we're going to network with organizations providing similar services in other countries. The internet is without borders, so we have to cooperate with organizations in other countries to get the picture of what they are seeing, and we'll probably be seeing a lot of the same in Norway. SIS is not an instance of authority. As I said for the last foil, we don't investigate anything ourselves. And our functions will supplement those activities already running in the area of information security in Norway. So we will not be responsible for anything that other organizations usually were responsible for. It will be something new. And what will be our deliverables? First of all, threat assessment. We want to receive incident reports from other companies, and we want to analyze those incidents and possible countermeasures. We will also coordinate and give feedback to those reporting to us and propose preventive actions. We will also have an overview of who delivers security services and products in Norway. This did not exist before. And we want to increase awareness about security in both private and public sectors. We will establish a network of relevant contacts as well. Our long-term objective is to be responsible for the national coordination of tasks within incident response, warning, response of threats and attacks, and exchange of expertise. But this long-term objective goes way beyond 2004, because in the trial period we will not be responsible for security and preparedness in emergency situations. That is because the lack of financial funding. We don't have enough human resources either to be able to do so. About the SIS complementing existing efforts, SIS will be responsible for the society at large, which are small companies, medium-sized companies, and large companies. And maybe politicians as well, who needs our results to make decisions. But in addition, we have this Norwegian National Security Authority, which I mentioned, who are responsible for national security, critical societal operations, and key industry. And together we are around 150 people. This is SIS, and this is the National Security Authority. So as you see, we don't have that much resources, so as a long-term objective show, we don't have, it's not possible for us to do that in the trial period. So, what have we done so far? Our premises are approved according to the Norwegian Security Act, which means that we are able to handle classified information in a proper way. We don't expect companies to come to us with incident reports if they don't trust us that we can handle that information in a proper way. We're also, we spent last year hiring people to this center. We started out April 1st with just one person working at SIS, And the last person to start, he started after Christmas. So we haven't been fully staffed more than 5 months. So we're now 7 people, and we're all educated or work experienced within information security. And we went online in January or February this year. So we have this webpage at www.norsis.no, and here you can find information about us, and this will be our main window to the world. This is where we will publish everything we produce. How can we reach our goals? How can we perform the main objectives? When it comes to the threat assessments, we want to receive incident reports, as I mentioned. We want to receive the reports, we want to analyze them and give feedback to the companies reporting to us. But we don't expect them to report to us without having this formal agreement in place, because security-related information is sensitive, and people don't want to give away such information just like that. So we need to have these formal agreements. But we also see that it's very difficult for us to receive such incident reports even with a formal agreement in place. So we need to go out to look at other types of surveys, other information sources. There are a lot of companies doing this kind of service already, and we have to use them in our work too. And we also listen to the users. What do they need? What do they miss as of today? And what do they want us to publish? We want to give out our first threat assessment in June this year. As we have been working on SIS and talking to companies and trying to find out what they need and trying to get incident reports, we see that we need tools and methods for handling and analyzing such reports. If we receive 10 reports a day, it's getting a lot of information at last, and we need a system for handling this to be able to make analysis and statistics on them. But as of today, we haven't yet found such a tool that suits us good enough. We also need to find out how to produce useful reports. We need to determine what constitutes a useful report based on user demands. We have to talk to the user, as I said, and find out what they want from us, what they need, and we have to find out if we're able to give them that and how we can do that in the best way. When it comes to spreading knowledge, one of the best ways of communicating to people is, of course, participate in national and international conferences. So we want to do that more than of today. So far, we've mostly been presenting SIS when we have been at conferences, like I do today. But in the future, we hope to be able to present more of the results and the statistics we make, and what kind of incidents do we see happen, what kind of threats do we see as the worst or as the most dangerous. And also, we have close contact to the university, the NTNU in Trondheim. So we suggest problems for master students, so they can work on those problems for their master thesis. And we also do tutoring to them while they're working on these projects. Our webpage is our main window to the world, and here we will publish our advisories and articles, best practices and checklists. We see that when we talk to people in different companies, they don't want these documents in 20 pages, 50 pages or 100 pages of how to do things. They want these short checklists, 1 page at most, and best practice, which is the best way to protect your system, and they just want these short advisories. We want to give them that. But one of the biggest challenges is to collect and sort out and communicate publicly available information. There is already a lot of such information on the web, but especially people in the smaller companies don't have resources to search on the internet to find such advisories that they need. So we want to collect it for them and sort out which are good advisories and which are not as good. And we want to give them that instead. And We also want to supplement this already existing information with what is needed. If it's necessary, we need to produce our own articles as well. When it comes to networking, we've been doing a lot of work the whole last year, and we're still doing that. We go out and visit many companies. We talk to the IT directors or to other people working in IT security, just to discuss their problems, to see what they're dealing with, and to hear what they're doing in the security area. Those kind of companies, we go to all kinds of companies really, both critical national infrastructure and smaller companies, and also member organizations for collaboration, so we can use those organizations to get in touch with their members. And this fall we will have a Nordic meeting in Trondheim with other kinds of CIS organizations. We have a CIS or similar to CIS in Sweden and Denmark and Finland, and we hope to find the one in Iceland, and we will gather all these organizations in Trondheim this fall. A couple of months ago we went to United Kingdom and visited NICE and Uniras. They've been doing such work for 10 years, 11 years or so, and they have a lot of experience, and we can learn a lot from them. A big challenge here is to identify the key people and establish relationships with them within important organizations, so that we can have contact with some persons to get the information that we need to get. Our main challenge overall is to determine possible functions, goals, and working methods of the center. We need to identify main users and figure out what is really needed by them. And CIS is going to be evaluated next year to find out what form it's going to have after the trial period. And one of the things we need to figure out is, can we sell our services, or should we continue to give out information for free? As of today, when we are 100% financially funded by the government, the companies don't have to pay anything for our services. And one question is, should this continue, or can we produce something that people are willing to pay for? And another important aspect is that we have to gain trust. People need to trust in us to be willing to exchange information with us. As I said also, that security information is sensitive, and nobody wants to give out such information without trusting the receiver. What are our results so far? What have we accomplished so far? In June we hope to be out with the first publication, the first threat assessment. We have already started sending out formal agreements to different kinds of companies, and we have already got some back signed, so that we can start to exchange information with them. We have also made a map of the security industry in Norway, a survey of or overview of who does what. So if a person needs help to how do I configure my firewall, or I need evaluation for certification, or another service related to security, information security, they can go to our webpage and search for it, and they will find someone to contact. We have also identified key players, both governmental and commercial. We are now participating in ISP Forum in Norway, so we can participate to their meetings and participate in the discussions they have at those meetings. And we're also taking part in the making of the biggest survey on information security in Norway. It's not yet an annual survey, it's run every second year, and we're going to be part of the making of the next one. So to sum up, I would say there is definitely a need for a center like CIS, but it takes time and resources, and I believe that we need more time then the trial period before the center is what it should be. And we also need more people working on it. As you saw, we are only 7 people. It's not much considering everything we want to do. But I'm positive that the center will exist after the year 2004. So, are there any questions?
It's on? Oh, brilliant. Okay, so you mentioned several services, some of them proactive and some reactive. So you try to deal with incidents, and on the other hand, you would like to produce documents, best practice and stuff like that. So what's your main focus? Would you like to go into the direction of more proactive services, or you would go on with both?
What do you mean, if we will concentrate on countermeasures, or?
Well, we are in the process of, well, at least we have talks at the moment to do something similar in Switzerland.
Okay.
And what we are thinking we are doing is more proactive stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So best practice stuff, and what you should do to avoid to be hacked.
Right.
And less on the incident report side.
I would say that the proactive part is our main focus. Because we want to go out to inform people what to do to protect themselves, of course. Right. And we won't be able to do anything about their incidents either, because we don't have any operational activities. Mm-hmm. So all we can do with the incidents is to analyze them, actually, and make statistics to see which are the biggest threats, and then go out to propose preventive actions.
So you're not doing actual incident handling?
No, we can't do anything with them. We just want to know about them.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense.
Okay.
Thank you. You said that you got approved to handle sensitive information. Was it some kind of formal certification? Could you give some details on this procedure?
Yeah, the Norwegian Defense, or the Norwegian National Security Authority, helped us in that process. And they came and had a look at our premises, and they suggested what we needed to do to be able to do so, according to the Norwegian Security Act. So the National Security Authority helped us with that.
Are there any standards related to this procedure?
There are. The Security Act states how you need to do it, how thick your doors have to be, and how many emergency exits you need to have, and so on. But it doesn't say anything about electronic security, so we have our own network for handling incident analysis and statistics. Sure.
Just a quick follow-on to the last one. If you are certified for handling classified material, does that mean that whenever somebody sends a report to you, it's automatically given a security classification?
It's the company sending information to us who classifies the information.
Okay, right. So you don't automatically classify it within.
Yeah.
Great, thanks.